Oh, well, it's live. Okay.
Yeah, we're going live. Yeah, no, I mean, my computer says it's 8:59, and this would probably be. Yeah, my phone says it's 8:56. So, hey,
Yeah, we're early. We've been late
Yeah.
many times before. We're early today. So
yes. So, everybody, hey, welcome to the Snews for July. If you're keeping track, we are actually 1 week late, but there is no. We like to do it on the first Thursday of the month, but there is no hard date for this news. And when I say we, before I introduce you to my co-host, just real quick, we're going to talk about Pokemon Go or Pokemon Go. We're going to talk about TV and TV shows a little bit, and we're going to talk about the Sharknado phenomenon. And when I say we, here we go. There is no snooze without my co-host Dylan, and he usually comes in, says hi, and then talks about birthdays or some stupid bullshit. So, anyway, it's not stupid. I'm kidding. Anyway, welcome, Dylan. How's it going?
it's going all right. As we were talking before the show, it is a disgustingly swampy, hot, and humid day in the mid-Atlantic region, including up where you are too. It's disgusting. Supposedly, we're getting a little, as we talked about, also getting a little relief this weekend, but then maybe possibly getting steamed up again later on. But for those who are wondering, no, I am not a Pokemon. Okay, just stop. People are catching me up in the street and trying to grab me and put me in the balls and stuff. I don't know. Anyway. We'll talk about that a little more.
That did not sound right.
When does anything we ever talk about sound right on this show? Anyway, we're doing birthdays, and man, this is almost as many as March. We got a ton from July through August. So the first one up is July 17th, that would be Sunday? Monday? I don't know.
For Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday, July 17th is Sweet Con's Nicole's, her birthday. So happy birthday to her. She's going to probably be, after her birthday, she'll be celebrating it up in San Diego. Comic-Con is next week, so she's going to be having a grand old time there. Then on the 22nd of July, we got a trio of Snark Alex birthdays, starting off with Jen Hallmeyer's birthday. Also, our very own pink-haired floozy Mandy's birthday is on the 22nd, and Tammy Dowden's birthday is also on the 22nd. So happy birthday to you three. The 24th is Turfle's birthday. 25th is Midget Girl Lee's birthday. Happy birthday, Lee. And our favorite person in the whole world, one of them, her birthday is the 28th. It's Myrna. So everybody go wish Myrna happy birthday on July 28th. Also, July 28th is Barry Vencedor's birthday. So Barry of the very interesting answers to our Walking Dead questions that we throw during the Walking Dead season. So good for Barry. Then another one of our favorites, August 1st, is our friend, yours and mine, Scotty McDonald. Scott McDonald's birthday, August 1st. So happy birthday to you, Scotty.
He's going to be like 96 or some shit, I think.
Yeah, he looks like it. August 3rd is the birthday of one of my co-hosts on Dylan Knows. Actually, we're going to do a show on Saturday night. Jerry Fletcher. Her birthday is August 3rd. Tammy LaRock's birthday is August 9th. Another of our favorite Snark Alex, Helena McGevna's, or Helena. She was yelling at me during Snark Stock about I was saying it wrong. So
yeah, because she's drunk.
H. McGevna's birthday is going to be August 10th. And finally, we round it off with August 11th is Mr. Pasico's birthday. So that are the birthdays for the month of mid-July to mid-August, which would be midsummers technically. So back to you, Tony.
Okay. Well, at the top of the show, Dylan actually mentioned Pokemon, and I'm going to find out from Dylan what his involvement is. I do not play Pokemon. Pokemon Go, which is the new app, which is causing quite a stir in the country. I found out about it through my 14-year-old daughter, who mentioned it. She actually she said, "Dad, you've got nothing to do right now," as I was getting ready to cut the grass, like about a week and a half ago. And she says, "You're not doing anything. Do you want to take me to the firehouse so I could go catch a Pokemon?" And then she explained to me what the app was that you download the app, and then I guess it uses your location services and stuff,
Yeah.
and then you have to go to certain locations, and then I guess it uses your camera and it superimposes a Pokemon on your phone, and you capture it that way. But the funny thing is, my daughter mentioned it to me. Like, let's say she mentioned it to me on Monday night. On Wednesday was when every day on the news in the morning there was another Pokemon story. Who's causing a car accident, who's getting robbed, and the first thing I thought of when my daughter said, "Tell me what it was," I was like, "You're not doing this unless you're with an adult, because it sounds like, you know, people can use this for nefarious means." Um, but Dylan has two kids who are probably almost in that target range of what this app is looking to target. So, are your kids involved in this?
Um, kind of. That one who's actually involved with it most of all, believe it or not, is the lovely Dawn Stark.
Dawn. I knew you were going to say Dawn. I knew you were going to say it.
Yeah, I mean, we were, I guess it was Saturday, I guess. We were just chilling in the house and going through social media, and everybody's talking about this Pokemon Go thing. The story about the car accident, the one about finding a dead body in the lake, or river rather, stuff like that. And Dawn's like, you know what? This might be interesting to just see what it is. So, and this is like at, I don't know, 8 in the morning, 8:30 in the morning. And Dawn's still in her night clothes, and she, downloads the app, and then she starts looking, and she says, "Oh, there's one right outside." So she goes outside in her night clothes and goes to our neighbor's yard and gets the first one. So, and then the kids, of course, they did get excited about it. So they've been, checking it with her. But she's been doing it a lot on her own. She's been finding them at her work. She's been finding them, around the neighborhood. And actually today, before the snooze and before we had bath time and bedtime, the kids were actually asking about it. So we found some in the neighborhood, and the three of them went off, and they went and they captured a few and came back. But it's just an amazing how fast the phenomenon has just taken over everything. I mean, what are they saying now? It's the biggest most popular app of all time now, or something like that, or even bigger than Twitter and stuff like that.
Well, I know Twitter's big, but I mean, me personally, like, if you're going to take all apps and compare them, it probably might be. But I mean, I would consider it more of a game, and Angry Birds and what's
the Candy one,
Candy Crush.
Yeah,
Candy Crush would be the apps that come to mind where it comes into what I'm going to say, normal lexicon. Like, even your grandma might have heard of the Pokemon Go because of it, being on the news. Candy Crush was one of those things that has actually made it into sitcoms and stuff. And Angry Birds, there's a movie. So, I mean, it has made it into, I don't want to say into the mainstream, because everybody has a phone and everybody's got apps. But the one thing that you've got to applaud them for is it actually has people go out and get off their butts, and do something. But, I mean, some of the things that I've heard that are a little bit disturbing is, I guess the way it works is that I'm going to be 50, not 96, is Scott McDonald, and he's showing a picture of his son, and it looks like his son is holding a Pokemon in his hand, which is really cool. I guess the way it works is it knows what your location is, and then it tries to find things near you, like places near you. And, people have been looking for Pokemon in places that maybe they shouldn't be, like the 9/11 memorial, people walking into funeral homes. Oh, look, there's a Pokemon feasting on Grandpa's corpse. It's great.
Yeah, they've said that graveyards actually are a really big hot spot for them. Go figure,
Yeah, because why? Because not only is it a location that's on the map, but it's also an expansive area that you have to walk around and explore. And as so I would applaud, and I don't even know if it's a free app or if you've got to pay for it. Like,
It's free. It's a free one. Yeah. The
but
one I use is a free one. Yeah.
I think there's going to probably be a tie-in later on because they're probably going to come out with a new Pokemon game, and you'll be able to use the Pokemon that you've been capturing. Like, you'll be able to somehow uh, take those characters and get them into the game in the future. I'm guessing, but it's a great publicity stunt. It is getting people off their butts, and that seems to be, Nintendo with the Wii and the way they've been doing their video game stuff. Uh, is more about getting people to be active, which is a nice thing. But I mean, when you hear people talk about video game consoles, what are they talking about? They're talking about the PS, the PlayStations, and they're talking about the Xboxes. Are they talking about Wii as much?
No, it's the Wii is starting to actually looks like it's starting to disappear, despite the fact that Wii U just came out a year or so ago. It seems to be being edged out by the PlayStation and the Xbox, which
Right.
is a shame. Yeah.
Because they are. We have an Xbox upstairs, and we've got a Wii down here, and the games are a hell of a lot better on the Xbox. Let's face it. Especially when the kids get older. When the kids are young, the games are kind of more cartoony on the Wii. Not that that's a bad thing,
Right.
but yeah, I mean, I would guess because you can get cartoony games for the Xbox and stuff. You can get games for the younger kids, and it just seems like, my kids, when they were really young, they loved it, and now when they do play, they're playing on the Xbox. They're not messing with the Wii as much. But you see, I think we're all hearing this, like, this morning. I think the latest Pokemon thing was there's video, and if you ask me, I think it was staged. But some guy is looking for a Pokemon in some kind of park somewhere, and he walks into a pond, and supposedly that's the newest video that was this morning. So we're probably hearing about the same things. I was kind of wondering if there was anything that you heard that was local to you.
Nothing local to me. There hasn't been. I mean, I've been hearing all the same stories that you have. The latest ones are people falling off of a cliff, people hitting a tree while they're driving, finding the dead body in the river, stuff like that. Getting actually, from what I've, I thought this was something completely different, but some people I was working with, they said, no, this is connected to Pokemon Go. There were a number of armed robberies within a span of about an hour on the campus of University of Maryland, which is kind of odd because college is out of session. I guess maybe summer stuff is going on, but within a span of about an hour, like late last night, like from like 10 to 11 or 10 to 11:30, something like that, about 3 people got robbed at gunpoint on the campus. Now, I thought that was just it was a nice night. They're on college campus. They're walking around. They're just getting arrested. But the people I'm working with, like, oh no, it's because they were outside looking around for Pokemon, and the guy came up and held them up at gunpoint. So I don't know if that's true, or if what my original belief was that they were just out and about, and it just seems to be some asshole walking around robbing people by gunpoint. So I don't know if it's connected to the Pokemon Go phenomenon. But I mean, I've been seeing people in the neighborhood just walking around, and it's just nothing, no accidents. They're actually paying more attention to stuff. They're not just looking down constantly at their phone. They're looking up and making sure they're where they're supposed to, not going to fall down the stairs or get on the road and get hit by a car. So if that story about the University of Maryland people being robbed because they were playing Pokemon Go is true, well, then it's true. But to me, it just, when I first heard the story, I was like, okay, it's just another random guy just robbing people on campus because it happens,
Yeah. Well, and that's where I've heard of most of, and maybe not necessarily the university, but in more urban areas is where, because I guess if I'm on the app at the same time you are, it takes your location, and if we're in the same proximity, it may put some Pokemon, in like the library. So and or in a park or someplace that's not that's kind of public, but maybe not, like a busy street. And people go there looking for Pokemon, and they see people looking through their phones. They're not paying attention to what's going on, and all of a sudden, you got a gun or a knife in your face. You know, one guy had his phone stolen, um, which is, it's just crazy. But
But at the same time, though, I mean, you hear all the bad stuff, but then there's also some neat stuff where, like, uh, kennels, not kennels, but places where homeless animals or animals are trying to get adopted. Adoption centers are saying, "Hey, if you don't mind, would you like walking the dogs while you're hunting your Pokemon? Give them a chance to interact with you and walk them around a little bit." Then there's like the national park people are letting them run around the park with Pokemon Go, and then learning stuff at the same time. There's a ranger that's going with them and showing them where the Pokemons are, but at the same time saying, "Hey, this is what happened here." And then our zoo is doing something also neat. They're going to do like an hour window over the next 3 days where kids can go, and they'll help show them around certain areas of the zoo and have them look for Pokemon, but at the same time teach them about the animals that are there too. So I mean, you're learning some stuff, and yeah, there is the crazy stuff, and then of course you might actually be right about the guy in the pond. That sounds like something that would be, a prank guy, just a couple guys sitting around going, "Hey, it'd be fun. Why don't we pretend that we're looking at our phone for Pokemon and someone walks into the pond? Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, it'll be all over YouTube and we'll have lots of hits." And so you're going to probably start seeing those videos of that are obviously probably going to be staged. Hell, I could do one if I wanted to.
Anybody can stage a video like that. And, all you've got to do is, hey, I'm walking down, and then all of a sudden, like, you show a falling brick and it hits a dummy, and so I don't know if you saw this, and of course, the source of this is a little bit strange, because I would have thought this would have come from Mike Official Pagan. The source of this, I'm not gonna mention the source, but this person says, "Yep, you can use the lure power up to gather Pokemon and then potential mugging victims." Not that I would, of course. Now, I don't want to mention this person's name because he's a friend of mine, and I don't want him to get into any kind of trouble for,
yeah.
Tool.
He's actually on the East Coast now too. I saw a tweet from Arlington, so he's not that far from me. He's probably about an hour and 10 minutes away. I was like, "Hey man, you should come up and visit."
That'd be funny if he showed up on your doorstep. Him and a bunch of dudes because he lured them to your house.
And then and then I read somewhere also that there's also, I guess there's a lure thing or whatever, but there's people are also, actually you can get stuff or whatever, and you can create like a Pokestop, whatever that is. I don't know that much about it, or gym or whatever, and get people to come, and then you can maybe try to sell stuff to them and make some money on the side. So I just find it interesting that all of a sudden it looked like just over the weekend it just blew up, and it's all over the internet now, and memes, and there's a Twitter account that shows pictures of all the crazy stuff he's seen before with the Pokemon. I mean, he's probably superimposed, but he did one at he had a picture at a Ku Klux Klan meeting and had a Pokemon at the Ku Klux Klan meeting saying that Pokemon Go is taking me to weird places and stuff like that. So, stuff that's obviously probably photoshopped, but it's just interesting.
Well, so that's pretty funny, because what you just said. You know who Virgil is?
No.
He used to be the manager for the $1 Million Man in wrestling, and he's fallen on some hard times. And there's a website where people have posted pictures of Virgil, and what Virgil does is, I got to see if I can find the website. But like, say there's like some kind of wrestling event where, like, wrestlers are going to appear to sign autographs and stuff like that. Virgil will not rent space inside the hall. He'll set up a table like down the block, and he'll take pictures with you. Like, so he'll get people that are walking by, and it'd be like, look, like it's Virgil, the the $1 million man Ted DiBiase's manager, and he'll make money that way. Um, maybe Scott knows. I'm not going to look for it now, but you could do the same thing. If you had that lure thing, you can buy some Pokemon and set up a table, and like little stuffed Pokemon or the little plastic ones. And when people come by looking for Pokemon, they'll actually find you sitting there with a table with physical Pokemon that you can sell them. But then you got to worry about someone coming by and ripping you off because using the Pokemon lure.
I also think it'd be kind of funny if you're able to you're able to find where these Pokemon are, and obviously they're going to be other phones are probably going to be using the same general area. You put some of those figures where they're supposed to be, so they're going to stumble upon and say, "Oh, there's the digital version," but oh wait, look, there's the real one right there too. I think that'd be pretty funny. What's Scott say? lonelyvirgil.net. Scotty said.
Okay. So why don't we all do that? Anybody who's got access to the internet. You see, I knew Scotty would know. lonelyvirgil.net. And so people just post pictures of like Virgil like outside these venues and shit. It's pretty, like if you just go actually if you Google it, it'll come up and you can do just images. But he put the link up, so I'm looking through it. Here's one. You probably can't really see it too well, but it's one that it's like in the middle of a parking lot, and there's a woman in a woman in like one of those motorized cars driving up there. So that's actually funny. Yeah, if you do the images, like he'll be set up like in the middle of a parking lot, or he'll be on the sidewalk, and he'll have that table with the banner on it that says Ted DiBiase and Virgil. Which is pretty funny.
That is pretty funny. I like that idea. That's actually really funny.
Okay, we should make that happen. So we got to get somebody to volunteer to like make a banner, and then we got to figure out who's gonna, set up the. Okay, so Mr. Scott Braveboy says a coworker set a lure at a local wastewater treatment plant. People showed up.
See, that's what I'm talking about. This is absolutely insane how crazy it is.
A wastewater treatment plant. Do you know what that translates into? What a shitty place to set a lure for a Pokemon.
And yeah, you walk in there and you will smell it miles away, and you're going to get stronger and stronger by the time you get up. Oh my God, I can't even imagine.
And I think maybe Kelly and Mr. Braveboy are working together because Kelly says, "Yeah, a coworker." A friend of mine did this. This is what a friend of mine did. Yeah. Dr. Phil, I've got this problem. I catfish people with my Pokemon lure. That would be. You want to know something? If you were having a like a yard sale or garage sale or something, if you can get, and I guess the more people that you have that could set lures, you could get people to come. And I'm sure we're just taking this, like, I'm going to rip you off idea, and we're extrapolating it and expanding it to like even in better. I have heard that a lot of people were very disappointed with the Independence Day movie. I saw a lot of bad tweets, and the movie is actually doing well. If you look at the worldwide box office, they made their money, and then there's still DVD sales because people will buy that crap. But imagine if they would have just waited until this Pokemon Go app would have come out, and they would have, I guess you could pay people to do it. Hey, let's set up a whole bunch of lures. Hey, it's really hot out. Why don't we just go to the movies?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's crib. I mean, and then at the same time, it gets very divisive also because now you've got the people who are always, oh, this is the stupidest thing in the world. You're adults. This is for kids. Why are adults doing all this stuff? It's so lousy. And then say, I don't want to hear about this anymore. It's just so you get the people who are like really into it, and you get the people who are just like are going to hate upon it anyway. It's just it's
Well, you want to know something? I mean, I know Pokemon because I have kids, and I don't know how long Pokemon have been around, but I believe
it's been a while.
it's been a while. I was older when Pokemon, so I was never into the Pokemon thing, but I've seen the cartoons and stuff, so I know what it's about. But I'm guessing that there's a lot of people that are in that sweet spot age that were kids and watched Pokemon when they were kids, and now it's kind of like now when with the new Star Wars movie coming out for people that were kids when the movies first came out. It's there's a bit of nostalgia there to a certain extent, but also you want to see the end of the story. So people that grew up with Pokemon, they would never get away with doing this with the Barney character, I'm sure. But this fits right in with the Pokemon storyline anyway. You'd go out and you capture them. So and it seems like a pretty simple idea. Hey, people have cell phones and GPS and cameras. Let's put these three things together, and so yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, I'm on the fence about it. I mean, one of the reasons why I wanted to bring it up and talk about it is because there seems to be a lot of the Snark Alks are involved with it, and the one connector thread I've seen through a lot of it is it's mostly people who have kids. Scotty, I know Scotty's involved with it. I know Mandy's involved with it. I know Aaron and Mel are involved with it also. And there's probably a few other people I'm missing also who post their pictures and show stuff like that. So it's a lot of it is a lot of it is being you have kids and stuff like that. So, but at the same time, it's just something fun to do.
Yeah. And I'm also guessing that had they released this app in the wintertime, it probably wouldn't be as popular as it is now. Because, hey, there's 24 inches of snow. Let's go out look for some freaking Pokemon. And that would be a great idea. Set up some walks and say, hey, why don't you shovel my walk?
There's one hidden under the snow.
Under the snow. That's right. I need my grass cut. So, moving right along. So, the next topic is TV shows, and this is a very broad topic because a lot of things have happened. Our last show, I had a question for Dylan. We discussed TV shows and why was it just me, or better shows coming out in the summer, even better than some of the shows I think that are on prime time during your fall and winter schedule, because I was watching a lot of TV shows all of a sudden. All of a sudden, I'm not watching too many TV shows anymore, Dylan, because they all ended.
Exactly.
Game of Thrones ended. Penny Dreadful ended. Preacher's on, but I'm kind of fell off the boat with Preacher. I may catch up with that when they marathon it. But okay, so right now the shows that I'm still watching are The Last Ship came back, so that just started a couple of weeks ago, and it is, I think, so far best season ever. I don't think you watch it, Dylan.
No, I don't.
It really is a good show, and actually season 3 I think is really good so far. And what's his name, Hodaki, or whatever his name is,
Hitaki from
Helix is in it this season. That's not what makes it good, but it makes it better, I'm gonna say. But I'm watching The Last Ship on Sunday. 12 Monkeys, one episode left, but it is coming back for a third season. I saw that. Containment, which is a one and done thing.
Is that one almost done? It seems like it's been out forever.
Next week, yeah. Well, actually, you want to know something? I think it was a 13-week run, and they could have done it in 10 because there was definitely it was really good, and there was a lot of tension and a lot of suspense through it. And since our last show, it just dropped off, and the finale is next week. So next week is 12 Monkeys and Containment, and I think Wayward Pines only has two more episodes of this season, and it may or may not be back for a third. Uh, and not as good as the first season. Um, but hey, you want to know something? It's on one's, and that's it. However, the good news is the Strain is coming back on the 28th, which is a problem because Fear the Walking Dead is coming back on the 21st, which is the Sunday before that. So if the Strain stays at 10 o'clock, which I hope they
It
put it
should.
at 10.
It should. It should. It's on FX. That seems to be where they like to put their Sons of Anarchies and their and Fargos and stuff like that. They like to put them on about that time. I can see the Strain being on 10 o'clock again. Absolutely.
Yeah, which hey plays right into my viewing schedule for Sundays, but it kind of sucks because Sunday has been really crazy as far as shows go, and hey, it is what it is. But the only other show that I'm watching now that I don't watch live is Scream, which is an MTV show based off the Wes Craven movies. And actually, Wes Craven was involved in production of the first season. He's still credited with the second season, but he's dead now. So,
I mean,
really...
he might have laid some groundwork for the second season, and maybe it's just an homage also to him as well.
But first season was really good. Second season is good, but it's one of those things where I was watching it to watch it with my daughter, and ended up really liking the show. Like, not just like, okay, yeah, I can sit here for an hour with my kid, because getting her to sit down for an hour is a big deal as far as I'm concerned. So, just to hang out with her and BS during commercials and stuff. But that's the only other show I'm watching now. But we DVR it because it comes on at 10 o'clock, and for me it's a school night, and I don't want to fall asleep during it. So we try and pick and choose. We watch it at different times. And there was a couple of weeks we didn't see it, so like we watched a couple of episodes. But that's another pretty decent show, especially if you like slasher. And there's not a lot of gore. There is, but it's not every episode someone's getting sliced and diced, and it's really more bloody than it is like savagery. But there's some stuff in there. It's an MTV show. They kill you with freaking commercials. But the big thing that happened today, and when we moved the show to this week, didn't realize that we were going to get this, is the Emmy nominations came out. And I was really, really not surprised. But none of the shows I watch, except for Game of Thrones, was nominated for anything. So the Emmys can go F themselves. Okay? Because there are so many categories, and there's so many different nominations. They've got a one-camera show. What the F is a one-camera show? And then they have a two-camera show. What's the difference? I'm sure every show's got more than one camera. Okay, then they've got shows that are half an hour, shows that are an hour, limited play shows, these kind of shows, that kind of shows. Game of Thrones, I believe, was nominated for, I think it was 32. I don't know if that's the highest.
That sounds about right. Yeah, every year they seem to get that many nominees. So that sounds about right.
Meanwhile, The Walking Dead has gotten 2 nominations. And again, I don't believe anybody from the cast has been nominated. And I'm not going to say that The Walking Dead is, a Shakespearean paradise. I'm not saying everybody on that show is great, but you want to know something? Half of those people are Brits, and as far as I can tell, their accents are, if not dead on, I can't hear the Brit in them. Every once in a while, Maggie um, screws up a little bit, but it's not enough where it's like, oh yeah, okay, get the hell out of here. Um, Good enough. And I just don't understand because the writing is good um, for the shows. I mean, uh, I was talking to my daughter earlier, and Downton Abbey is also nominated for a large number of Emmys. And I told my daughter, I was like, don't be surprised if Downton Abbey, wins more uh, awards than I said, especially because it was the final season.
That's the main,
You know,
absolutely. That's the main reason. Yeah. I mean, maybe they deserve some, but yeah, it's just the Emmys have always been this way, and they've always had weird rules. Just it was hard to. A good example is one of my favorite shows I always like to bring up once in a while is Northern Exposure. Now, yes, on the surface, it's a comedy, but there are it balances drama with comedy fairly well. That it's not overly comedic and overly dramatic. It's like very right in the middle, and I think they picked it for comedy, which I guess makes sense. But then there are other ones that they're like, why did you nominate this show for a drama when there's more comedy in it than drama, and vice versa? Or, it always seems like the same actors. Like I think Kelsey Grammer, when he was playing Frasier, won it like 10 years in a row or something like that. I don't know if that's true or not, but he was nominated every year. It seemed like he won every year. The Big Bang Theory seems to win everything every year. I think Game of Thrones wins a lot of them, but I think the only one that's really won any awards was Peter Dinklage. I think he's the only one of the cast who's ever won any Emmy awards for his portrayals of any of the characters. So, but the Emmys have always been really weird, and now I think with the advent of cable, which is one of the things we were talking about last month, and now with Netflix, they're starting to pull away from more of the network shows because they can do more and get away with more on the HBOs and the FXs and the Netflixes and stuff like that. So you're able to do a different a different way to approach an Emmys. If you want to be an award-winning thing, you want to do different things, different crazy, dramatic. You can do more dramatic. You can do more heavy acting and lifting, and you get more of the big actors. I think what was that, a couple years ago when that cop show came on with Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. It swept the nominations also because it's two big time actors, slumming it in a TV show. I think Kiefer Sutherland, same thing. So when you're able to do these small miniseries or do a Netflix or an HBO, you can draw these bigger actors and stars, and you're going to start getting more of the nominees for that. And so some of these lesser shows, which absolutely should deserve it, yeah, maybe not. I will make a prediction, though, Tony. If things are going the way they are and the way things are talking about, the actor, I forget his name right now, who plays Negan, might get nominated next year for Walking Dead if he's going to be following what people are pretty much think he's going to do. So we'll see about that. We'll see if I'm true about that. But as I said, I think they like to, they've been getting away from the more mainstream network shows and going more for the gritty, star-driven type of shows like that.
well, as far as one of the things that I've observed, or I don't want to say observed, but when let's talk about HBO. Okay, HBO always seems to have at least one show on that is water cooler slash everybody's talking about. You got The Sopranos, okay, everybody's heard of The Sopranos, and I'm using HBO's because HBO is a premium cable channel. Sopranos. What's the Entourage? Okay, another big show. Boardwalk Empire, Game of Thrones, and those are the ones just come to the top of my head, quickly. Other networks have had other shows like Showtime with Dexter and what's the show that Macy's on now? William H. Macy.
Hopeless or helpless or downtrodden or something. It's like one word.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I know. That's the show I'm talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
And the amazing thing is, I mean, you would expect a quality show because HBO doesn't really do something half-assed, but they always manage to have a show that is talked about as much as a free over-the-air ABC, NBC type network. And one of the things that I love about Fox is they are willing to take a chance and put out the shows that you'd think you may only see on a cable channel, like they've gone with Fringe and other shows like Dollhouse and other shows along those lines that really don't have your mainstream appeal, let's say, and are really, I mean, the X-Files was on for so long and they brought it back, and I didn't see anything for the X-Files nominated, and that was this year.
January,
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was this year. So maybe next year, because at least one episode was one that every critic was saying was the greatest episode ever written for the X-Files. So maybe next year we'll see that in there as a possibility. Because it's weird though, when you get it, you get the Emmys now, and then you got shows from January and stuff like that might not make it in there, or maybe they have a different cutoff. Maybe it should have been in there and it wasn't. Maybe their cutoff is like March. I don't know. So I don't know the rules of that. By the way, I think it was it Scott Troutman who said Shameless.
Yes. Thank you, Scott. That's the show I was looking for. But the shows that I like, Z Nation. Okay, that is a show that I think should garner some kind of respect for something. Helix, especially last year, that show was phenomenal, and it had a great cast. I mean, they had Steve Weber was on it. I mean, it was a phenomenal show, and if you watched it, and like I'd love to. It may be on Sci-Fi. I may go back and rewatch it because that was an outstanding show. But the shows that I like, 12 Monkeys is a great show. And I hate anything about time travel. It's a great freaking show because there's twists and there's turns and it's intelligent, and nothing on Sci-Fi seems to have gotten any kind of recognition, and why? Because nobody watches those shows. They're not good enough.
It could be genre problems. I mean, yeah, Game of Thrones might be the one difference because it's a genre medieval Lord of the Rings type of thing, but fantasy, yeah. But then you start looking at it. There's not a lot of sci-fi or comic book type movies because Netflix. I mean, I've been watching some of the Daredevil and the Daredevils. Those are really high quality shows. And Jessica Jones, which came out last year, also garnered a ton of critical acclaim, and it got nominated for I think 2 Emmys, and neither was for acting. So, and she basically ran that show.
Orphan Black was nominated, and
Tatiana deserves to win the Oscar or the Emmy for that. Totally,
yeah, she was one of the nominations for that. And you see now here the funny thing is, take Game of Thrones and compare it to Orphan Black. Okay, there is no one in Game of Thrones will ever get a lead actor or actress nomination in that show because everybody's a supporting actor or actress. Everybody, you know. Maybe when we get to the last two seasons, because there's two seasons left in Game of Thrones, maybe because the cast is, they just destroyed Winter City. Spoiler alert. Okay, if you haven't seen it, but the cast has decreased. So, and you know who the four or five key characters are going to be going forward. I mean, there's about 10 key characters going forward now. Okay. And that's debatable. And we could do a whole show on Game of Thrones, believe me.
Which you've done.
Yes, which we did. And it's they will never get that. Okay. Never get it unless something changes. Okay. And the thing that kind of sucks is that for supporting actress, I think they've got two, maybe three people. I know Macy and Sophie Tucker, who plays Sansa and Arya, the sisters, both have a nomination. I think there might be a third female in the cast. I'm not sure. But Peter Dinklage and Kit Harington both got nominations for Jon Snow and Tyrion. Got nominations. But other than that, the only show I care about that was up there to get nomination was Game of Thrones. Orphan Black, I was watching. I'm not watching it anymore. iRobot got a couple of nominations. And I just don't understand the logic behind, I would guess, wouldn't popularity have something to do with some of it?
You'd think, but I think, as I said, a lot more of it has to do with. I mean, don't get me wrong. I never saw it, and I love her to death. Julie Louis-Dreyfus for Veep. I mean, could you consider that maybe a water cooler show you're talking about earlier? Because I never watched it before, and
I've never seen it. I've seen the ads for it. It looks like a good show. I don't have that much time to watch that much TV.
Right. Obviously, yeah. But I'm just saying, she's always seems to get nominated, and she very rightfully might deserve it. I don't know. I've never seen it. I mean, I've read and I've heard a lot of critics say the same thing. Says this is the best role she's ever done, even better than Elaine in Seinfeld. She said this is the best role she's ever done, and she's the one actress that's been able to, surpass what's been going on with Seinfeld, because she's the only one who's still pretty much in the eye, and she's had two successful shows after Seinfeld, where the others really haven't had too many of them, if any. I don't think they've had any. Jerry especially.
Yeah, you want to know something about Jerry? I think Jerry does stand up, and he's happy doing that because
exactly.
He really doesn't have to work a day in his life. And
he doesn't. He really doesn't.
If he lived to be 3,000, he wouldn't have to really work a day in his life. But yes, I've seen. I have never heard anybody like Game of Thrones. I travel around and I go to different offices every day, and everywhere I go, when Game of Thrones is on, I can hear people talk about Game of Thrones. It's one of those shows. Downton Abbey, I hear people talking about Downton Abbey. I don't hear people talking about Orphan Black outside of, seeing people say something on Twitter. A lot of people know Penny Dreadful. And that show, I believe it came to an end. I don't know if they're coming back for a third season. I haven't seen anything, but they killed off one of the main characters. So they could potentially come back because there was some loose ends that they left. Big loose ends, I'd love to see it come back. But I don't know. But I've heard people talking about Penny Dreadful. Homeland, another big show that I've heard people talking about. but nothing. I mean, a lot of the shows that I've seen some of the nominations for, I was like, people watch that.
Yeah, exactly. Which was the point, is that, popularity might have a small wee bit to do with it. But in the end, I mean, it maybe they're focusing more on the acting, and I don't know. But as I said, with TV, it's a lot easier to do ensemble cast, especially that's one of the big things with the dramas on any network, really. I mean, they try. That's the whole point of these hour-long shows, is you're trying to give all these characters specific story arcs, and you might focus on one character for an episode or two, but then they get regulated to a secondary subplot and someone else comes forward. I mean, ER's a good example. I mean, they were around for 12 seasons. I think they got nominated almost every year, but you very rarely heard about any actor. I think Anthony Edwards and maybe George Clooney and Juliana Margulies were the only ones that really maybe got any nominations.
Question: the OJ story, was that last year?
That was it. I don't know. You see, it's so weird. We're in July, so January is starting to. I don't know. It's starting to dissolve a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it was last fall. I think it was. It was only like 6 episodes though. So
Yeah. You see, there's a category for short series. Blah blah blah, whatever bullshit. But okay, so
yeah, Scott Troutman. Yeah.
The Americans: Better Call Saul, Downton Abbey, Game of Thrones, Homeland, House of Cards, Mr. Robot. Game of Thrones won last year. Lead actor: Bloodline, Mr. Robot, Better Call Saul, Bob Odenkirk. Which now Better Call Saul has a very big, naughty pie following from people who watched, the show that is a spinoff from. The Americans, Ray Donovan, and House of Cards. I know a lot of people that watch, or I've heard people talk about House of Cards. I've never seen any of the shows on this list. I watched first couple of episodes of the first season of Better Call Saul.
Actually, The Americans is really good. It's one of those shows that I always want to watch, but I've only seen like a couple episodes of like every season, and somehow it's just a really dense, character-driven story, and it's actually gotten a lot of critical acclaim. And they're ending that in 2 years. Also, they've already declared that as well.
Okay, so lead actress in a drama: Homeland, How to Get Away with Murder, Empire, Orphan Black, which is Tatiana Maslany, The Americans, and House of Cards. Okay, so Homeland is cable. How to Get Away with Murder. Do you know anything about that show?
That's one of those. It's a network show that's done by the black lady who does the hospital show that you always make fun of Scott or Kelly for watching.
Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy. Yeah, she's become a huge. I think it's great. I think that's a Scandal. She's also involved with Scandal. Also,
Okay.
Yeah, that's like another one of her shows, How to Get Away with Murder. I don't really know that much about it, but it's in that same general type of romantic drama. In this case, I think it's like a murder mystery type of thing as well.
Okay, well, Viola Davis won last year. She's nominated again. So there's only 2 network shows on here. Empire, which is Taraji P. Henson. She plays Cookie on Empire. I watched that show with my kid. Okay, Orphan Black, The Americans, and House of Cards.
Yeah, Shonda Rhimes. Shonda Rhimes. That's Scott again. Is Scott Troutman. Okay. That's sorry.
So, and it was Lena Headey with Game of Thrones. So, supporting actress in a drama: Downton Abbey, Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones, The Affair, which has been canceled, I believe. Was it The Affair? I think The Affair is done. And Constance Zimmer for Unreal, which is a show that my daughter, my older daughter, watches. Supporting actor: Better Call Saul, Bloodline, Game of Thrones, House of Cards, and Ray Donovan. I mentioned Kit Harington and Peter Dinklage. Guest actress: Horace and Pete. Never heard of it. House of Cards, Masters of Sex, The Americans, and The Good Wife. Actor in a drama. Okay, a guest actor. Max von Sydow for Game of Thrones. House of Cards, House of Cards, House of Cards. And again, I don't watch none of these freaking shows.
Right.
Okay, outstanding comedy. Let's see. Oh my goodness gracious.
Big Bang Theory.
Blackish, Master of None, Modern Family, which I don't like. Silicon Valley, Transplant, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and Veep.
Big Bang Theory wasn't on there. Ah, interesting.
Nothing for Big Bang Theory at all.
Maybe their run is starting to come to an end. I don't know.
Yeah, it's possible. Guest actress in a comedy. All Saturday Night Live and The Big Bang Theory. Okay, Christine Baranski and Laurie Metcalf. So there goes some Big Bang Theory. Bob Newhart. I've seen Bob Newhart in Big Bang Theory. He's really funny. TV movies. Never heard of these. Limited series. Okay, so now this is where The People versus OJ would be. They've got Roots, The People versus OJ, The Night Manager, Fargo, and American Crime. Limited series or more. Blah, 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 blah. I don't watch any of these shows. Why am I wasting my time talking about this shit?
Yeah, so that I know you're making a point. Yes, it is. Yeah, it's, and I think that's, as you said, is that the networks are starting to exit because they're not taking the chances that the FXs and the HBOs and the Netflixes can.
And Scott is saying Penny Dreadful was officially canceled. I don't think they canceled it. I think they decided not to go forward with season 3 because I don't think I believe in TV show terms they have decided not to renew them for the third. Well, but they didn't. I think cancellation is more along the lines where, hey, yeah, you're supposed to do 16 episodes. Let's cut it down to 10, and after that you could shut down production.
Now, the one thing I am dying to see though is I'm a huge Twin Peaks fan, and that's maybe one of the reasons why Penny Dreadful's not coming back is because Twin Peaks is coming back out 2017 on Showtime, and that one is one of those that I would not be surprised if we might see coming up in next year's Emmys because David Lynch, who is a film director, Oscar nominated, he got practically the entire cast back from the TV show, and he drew in a bunch of his old friends from a bunch of the movies he's made before, Laura Dern and the one chick from Mulholland Drive, who's fairly popular too, famous for a while. She drawed a whole bunch of them in, so you're going to have all these other big actors on top of the TV show. So I think that's where a lot of Showtime's energy is going to start going really soon, which I'm excited for because this is one of the shows that I'm actually dying to see what they're going to do with it, and to see it in the context of how David Lynch actually wants to show it and not be held down by the networks. I think that was a problem with the original Twin Peaks. It was before its time. If this would have come out in 2000 with the advent of an HBO or FX or an AMC or whatever, you'd probably see a huge it would probably be on its 4th season now and be all kinds of Emmy Award nominees. Another one that you might want to keep an eye out for, and I'm not sure, I think it's HBO, is Neil Gaiman, who's a great writer. His great novel American Gods is going to be made into a TV show, and I'm dying to see that also. So
yeah, I've read some of his stuff, and he's got, if you're into supernatural type ghosts and things, that's where he is, with vampires and
right.
and things. Really interesting. I'm more excited for, and I'm going to plug this again because I've had this open the whole time. The countdown to when the strain comes back is 44 days, 2 hours, 40 minutes, and 29 seconds. Mark. PremierDateTV.com has the release date for the strain, and they've got a countdown clock going. So I had that open. So 44 days, which is pretty cool. Again, the strain is August 28 on FX.
That's going to dip into The Walking Dead, but that, as if they stick with the 10 o'clock, it should be fine.
Well, you see, and that's why I said, but however, and this is a good thing, the first episode of Fear, when it comes back the week before, is 90 minutes.
Right.
So just as long as they don't do that, you know, little bit extra time in the episode crap, we should be good for the strain. But you know, I just put it on DVR, and then the nice thing about the DVR is if I'm watching a show and it ends at 10:05, I can go to my DVR where the show is being DVR'd, and I could watch it while it's being DVR'd. And then when a commercial comes on, I can fast forward, and then I'm all caught up. It's a beautiful thing when it works well. Um, so so that's about it as far as TV shows go. 12 Monkeys is coming back for a third season. Yay.
Z Nation will be popping up. Season 3 will be popping up probably Octoberish, probably.
When are they going to pop that in the 10 o'clock time slot on Fridays?
I hope so. That worked really well when they had them there last year. I thought that was like it's opportune place for it, actually.
Yeah, I love a nice show on at 10 o'clock because you know, you finish all your running around, but it's got to be a good show, because on Fridays, if it's not good, I will crash.
Yeah,
I will crash. Let's put it this way. I was watching upstairs because people were watching TV downstairs. So I was up in my bedroom, and I fell asleep at 9:59 and 59 seconds last night, and I woke up when everybody came up around 10:30. But I fell asleep right at the end of Wayward Pines. So, you know, that tells you, hey, it's a good thing there's only one episode left, or 2 episodes left, because Containment, I want everybody to die now. I'm just sorry. Containment, listen, I refuse to learn anybody's names. So for the longest time, I was just calling people what I described them as, like Katie, which is the pretty teacher mom, and Angry Sweaty Cop is Jake, the guy. See, I did learn their names, but he was romantically involved with the teacher, and the teacher, spoiler alert, people, she died. She ain't coming back. She's dead. Okay, I'm glad there's only one episode left, because the last 3 kind of dragged, and they were just, if you set a hard suspenseful pace, you either start slow and you build, or if you start fast, you can only maintain that speed or go faster. You can't get into a lull, and that's what they did. They kind of lulled the last 3 episodes. So 12 Monkeys did it. 12 Monkeys, they started out jogging, and then they went right to a dash, and they've been dashing, and they've been, every once in a while, they'll jump, and then they'll come down, and then they'll jump, and they'll come down. And just when they break your heart, they friggin' do something. It's like, oh my God, that was like great, I'm sad that show's coming to an end, with only 1 episode left. But, what can you do? Wayward Pines, put me to sleep.
No, but I'm telling you, as you said too, yeah, it might be coming to an end, but you know what? You got a whole other season coming up next year, probably, or later.
Yeah, and I think next season might be the final one, because this is one of those things where they can't really drag it out too long, and it doesn't feel like Under the Dome, like what they did with that show. It's like, yeah, let's make this into another season. Let's see how much we can milk out of this crap. And that thing went from ratings up here to here. Nobody was watching. They couldn't get that shit off TV quick enough. But now, halfway through the season with Wayward Pines, I found my little niche with tweeting with that show, which is people, humans are gone from the face of the earth, and we have been replaced by what the humans that are left, that went into suspended animation for a couple of thousand years and woke up, are called the Abbies, aberrations or abnormals. So now, for the last 3 weeks, I've been writing Dear Abby's letters and in my tweets, and I've been having so much fun with that. That's been keeping me watching the show. Um, I am going to miss doing my dear Abby's tweets. So if you haven't watched the show, it doesn't make a difference. I would suggest next Wednesday at 9 o'clock, you watch the show and live tweet. And believe me, you probably don't need to know what's going on because they will show you everything that's going on. Um, and I can tell you what's going on. Jason is a dick. He is the ruler, and he's a kid. And most of the people that are in charge are kids. Okay. And then you've got some adults that are around, and they're trying to keep everything together. And it's about to fall apart.
Yeah.
Okay. So we beat TV shows to death tonight. So
Yep.
and we're gonna spend a couple of minutes just talking about the Sharknado phenomenon. I love the title. What is the title? It's Sharknado, the fourth with you.
Awaken, or
The Fourth Awaken.
Fourth Awakens. Yeah.
The Fourth Awakens, which is a play on the Star Wars theme. And I guess we're going to find out what happens to April because everybody was supposed to vote whether or not that she was going to survive because at the end of the previous movie, April, there was was it a shark or something?
No, it was a piece of the space shuttle that they were flying in. Yeah.
Yeah, that came out of.
Now, did you not see the commercial for it yet? Which actually showed the result of what happened.
I did not see that, but I did see part of a of one of the promos that they were showing that kind of showed April not squashed by a space shuttle.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah, so I am guessing that she is going to in fact survive. But did you see the if you go to Sharknado 4 site on Sci-Fi, they've got a big Star Wars like poster that they put up there. And in one of the pictures, Ian Ziering's got the chainsaw and he's holding it over his head. It almost looks like he's supposed to be holding a lightsaber. It really is a great website.
Now, my theory, real quick, is I think that it looks like they're giving April the whole $6 million man or the bionic woman treatment because we see her pulling cars and running real fast and punching holes into metallic walls and stuff like that. And I was starting to think about that. I was like, what I think is probably going to happen is I think they're going to Ian Ziering is going to probably believe that she's dead. And they rebuilt her secretly to be the secret weapon against the Sharknadoes, and I think that's going to be the main conflict of the movie because there's really not much more you can do with a Sharknado, right? I mean,
not. So Dylan, check your Twitter because I'm tweeting out the link to the poster, which is the Sci-Fi Sharknado website, and I'll do the same thing. I'll look. I'm just wondering if it looks as good on the phone as it does on.
Yeah, it does. It does. It looks like it does truly look like. Oops, sorry. Let me get my camera here. It does look like he's holding the chainsaw up like the lightsaber.
Yeah, like a lightsaber.
Oh, wait, that was a cameo. So it's one of those. Yeah, there we go. There it is. It's just a real quick, and it's gonna switch over real soon. But yeah, it looks really good. I like it. Yeah, I mean Hasselhoff's back, so somehow he got back from the moon.
Well, if you go on the website, or if you look above April's left shoulder, and there's the bionic hand, because I'm just noticing that. But someone is standing behind April with a sword, but they put a glow on the sword.
Yeah.
To give you more of a of a lightsaber type thing. But so if you go on the website, there's actually a Sharknado app. You can shark yourself. Now, I think they had this with the last movie, but with this, you can actually make a video now. So,
Okay, that might be something interesting because I mean I know there's. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What I was going to say is, remember before the show, I said, maybe there's something that we could do with this as far as a contest. So I believe it's good for your Apple device as well as your Android device. And I'll read the description. It's your big break. In celebration of Sharknado, The Fourth Awakens, we've redesigned Go Shark Yourself from tail to teeth. Use the app to transform your environment into a Sharknado feeding frenzy. Prompts from the app will have you shooting like a pro, acting like Ian Ziering. Film yourself and put your own stamp on classic scenes from the first 3 movies. We'll be adding some more scenes as we get closer to the premiere. With you and your friends in scenes from the Sharknado franchise, you'll want to share your Shark fans on Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, blah, blah, blah. So it's iPad and Android. So it looks like what you have to do is like they show a stick figure outline and you have to get yourself into that pose. And then I guess there'll be some magic that happens along with that. So if anybody wants to do this and you're going to tweet out a video, tag me and Dylan so we could see it. And we'll pick a Snark-Alec winner. Out of the crew, out of our crew, or even if you're not a Snark-Alec, and you will win absolutely nothing, but you will get respect and acclaim and all that other good happy horse crap.
And mentioned on the snooze.
Yeah, you get mentioned on the snooze. And if you're not a Snark-Alec, maybe we'll make you a Snark-Alec, and then
I like that.
And then you will be added to the birthday logs too. And we will actually mention your birthday, and the only thing we ask is your bank account and PIN number.
Well, you know what though? To be honest, Tony, what we might be able to do if we really want to. I still have a couple of the Snark stock transfers. I could maybe, whoever the winner is, I could get a T-shirt from my work and get you your own Snark Stock 2016 T-shirt. What do you think?
Hey, win a Snark Stock T-shirt. That's not a bad idea.
No.
That's not a bad idea.
See, I got in order to order the right amount that I needed for Snark Stock, I got a little extra, so I had to. So I've got some in the back. Right
yeah, Laura, that's not a winning entry, Laura. That is not a winning entry. Not at this time.
What did Laura do? Oh no!
She put herself in a shark suit.
Nice, cool. I like this idea. So yeah,
I am looking. Oh! Before. Okay. What were you going to say? Because I want to wait. Hold on. I have to write this down so I don't forget. Go ahead. You were going to say something about Sharknado.
About what? I don't remember. I was going to say.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, because I remember either yesterday or Tuesday you tweeted out two lava, two lantula.
Yes.
Yes. So it looks like we are going to get a movie or two coming up. And do you happen to remember when that is?
It is on a Saturday. I know that. I know it is on a Saturday. Because I think we had that discussion. You said, "Is it on a Saturday?" And I was like, "Yeah, I checked it. It is. It's in August on a Saturday." I'm trying to see if I can find. I should probably just go to my. I'll find it eventually. I tweet too much, so. Good writing day. No. So I'll let you know if I find out about. But yeah, I believe from what I recall, it is on a Saturday night at 9:00. Now here's the problem I have with Sharknadoes. They're starting at 8:00, which for me is not an appropriate time because that's my my kids' bed and bath time. So we'll have to figure out what we're going to do with that. So I'll find it eventually, but I'll let you know. But yeah, Lava Lantula, I believe, is on a Saturday night. Actually, let me just look it up in a couple different things here. To Lava Tulantula. To Lava. Yeah, To Lava Tulantula. Okay. 23 days. Let's see, that was 723 days until the goes to Florida. Premieres August 6th. So it's August 6th. Yep.
August 6th. Okay. So I see. Um, okay. So I just switched over to because I was on the sci-fi schedule, and sci-fi used to put their schedule like 2 months in advance. They don't do that anymore. You can barely see 2 weeks into the future. But I clicked the link for their original movies, and they have a new catch phrase or catch slogan for their movies. Okay. And I am on a sci-fi page. Sci-fi original movies in 2016. Oh, stop. Okay. Can you hear that?
Yes. Just barely. I don't know what it's saying, though.
It's music.
Okay.
So I paused it. Sci-fi original movies in 2016. They're not good. They're terribly good.
And while I don't know if it's on that website, but as I'm looking through my Twitter, all the hashtags for To Lava Tarantula, I come across this little interesting tidbit. July 25th, Damn Sharks is going to be on Sci-Fi.
Are they doing another Shark Week?
I don't. They might be because right now I'm looking at a tweet from Robert Craighead, and it says, "Tune in to @Sci-Fi and catch me in Damn Sharks, July 25th, and To Lava Tarantula on August 6th." So he's going to be in those two. So, and that's one area of sharks they haven't covered yet is Damn Sharks. Now, the only other one I want to see is I saw an ad, and this is a true ad. This wasn't a fake ad. I want to see Exorcist Shark or Shark Exorcism or something like that. It's it's a priest and he's exorcising a shark. Praise Jesus. But yeah, so we'll have to look. We'll have to do a little bit of investigating on that. But this guy, as I said, Damn Sharks, July 25th. So that's all I got, and this is the first I heard about it. So. That's all. That's the first I heard about. So I'm assuming that might be the only one right now because
I googled it. I did Sci-Fi and Shark Week. Now, remember last year I was not around for Shark Week, but maybe just because I put Sci-Fi in there because in a Shark Week versus Sharknado matchup, which do you choose? Shark Week 2016 or Sharknado the 4th. I don't know what this is about. Shark Week schedule. Or is it should I just say Sharknado Week?
Maybe it should Sharknado Week. Meanwhile, this is the log line for Damn Sharks. Voracious sharks use human bodies to build dams.
That sounds bloody good.
So we'll have to do some more research on that because I had no idea that they were going to do a Damn Sharks. And it looks like it's 6 to 8, so I don't know what that means. If that's this person's picture who I saw, if that's West, Central
and you said,
or whatever, I'm not sure. I'm sorry, what?
So you said the 25th, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me go back to Sci-Fi. I don't think actually. So, wow. So let me see how far ahead the schedule this goes because I don't want to see episodes. I said schedule. Why are you showing me latest episodes? I don't care what's on TV right now. I click something. Why don't you show me what I'm clicking, not what you think you want me to see? Okay, so, yes. Okay, so let's see how far ahead.
The 25th isn't that far off, yeah.
But, okay, so the 23rd, okay, that's a Monday. Maybe they are doing a Shark Week, dude. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so on the 25th, it's all movies. Super Gator, Piranaconda, Shark Assault, Robo Croc, Dark Tide, Mega Shark versus Colossus, Three-Headed Shark Attack, and Damn Sharks at 9 o'clock, which is new. So does this go to Tuesday? Please go to Tuesday. Please go to Tuesday. It goes to Tuesday and Wednesday. So let us see, because we may be discovering this now live on the snooze. Breaking
news.
snooze.
Yes, exactly. Breaking
snooze. Okay. Okay. And dun dun dun. Wait. There's something wrong with. Okay. There's something wrong with their website because okay, so Beast of the Bering Sea, Croc, Dino Shark at 11 a.m. 1 o'clock, Snakehead Swamp. 3, Lake Placid. 5, Lake Placid, the final chapter. 7, Zombie Shark. And then at 9 o'clock, Ice Sharks.
That's new.
So
That's
definitely new. A group of ravenous sharks breaks into a military base, forcing all the scientists to escape before they are eaten alive. So this sounds like sand sharks, except they're doing this in a polar area. Okay, but then at 10 o'clock, it says Scare Tactics is coming on. So I think they've got a problem because Mega Shark versus Colossus comes on at 11. So unless Ice Sharks is only an hour long, there's no reason for Scare Tactics to be on at 10 and 10:30. I think there's an error in their website. And it goes all the way up to Wednesday. So it looks like they are doing another Sharknado week, with it culminating as it did with Sharknado. So let's see. Beyond Loch Ness, Bermuda Tentacles. Wait, hold on a second. Shark Killer is new. 3 o'clock on Wednesday, July 27th. In the afternoon.
That's stupid.
A deep-sea diver accepts a shark hunting assignment from his criminal brother, who wants to recover a missing diamond. Okay, so that's on at 3. And then at 9 o'clock, no description. Planet of the Sharks. Okay.
All right, paging Kelly Toole, paging Mike Belinsky, paging everybody.
We may have to do something that week. Hold on a second. Where's my Twitter? So let me see. I just got somebody.
Yeah, Laura said something called Ozark Shark. On Sci-Fi, so maybe that might be Thursday.
She's on Dread Central. So, what's that Monday?
I'm just trying to see if they have a date on here. I don't see a date on here. I just see. Oh wait, hold on a second. No, that's something else. Yeah. So maybe that's one that's like, because you said it only goes to Wednesday. Maybe this will be the one that's like on Thursday or Friday, maybe. Ozark Shark. Does it look like it's like there? Oh, there's a shark by wood chipper. What does it say? It's Discovery Shark Week. Never mind. So okay. So definitely, you know what, Tony? We should probably do a little more research on this. I mean, if they're only giving us, I guess because it's Thursday, I guess they're only giving us up to Wednesday, and then tomorrow they'll drop Thursdays in there, and then Saturday they'll drop Fridays in there, and so on and so forth down the line. So,
well, I'm hoping they come back in here and take a look at this, because Shark Killer sounds like a decent movie, and why they're putting it on at 3 o'clock in the afternoon is kind of nonsensical. Now, wrestling is back on Fridays, isn't it? 8 to 10?
It was when we were watching Winona Earp. So I get, well, no, I don't think it is anymore, because unless it's going to 9 now, because isn't Dark Matter and that other sci-fi show going on back to back now, 9 to 10, Dark Matter, and or maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm thinking of something else. And the bounty hunter one or whatever.
Yeah, the Killjoys. Yeah,
Killjoys. Yeah.
Yeah.
As I don't know if both of them are out, but I know at least one of them is. So I thought both of them were back on Friday. So it's very possible that they might not show anything on Friday because of those shows.
Yeah.
Lemur, and I tuned into right time to hear all the shark movies. What's the shark shit?
Yeah, what's the shark shit? That's the shark shit.
All right, so you're going. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm.
Well, what I was going to say is, yeah, just saw that picture, Myrna. That is awesome. That's not the latest crazy monster flick. That whole week looks like it's going to be out of freaking control. Out of control, I think.
Planet of the Sharks sounds awesome.
Planet of the Sharks. Imagine talking sharks if they do like the Planet of the Apes shit. What the shark shit is going on there? Imagine if one of the sharks just turns around and says, "What the shark shit?"
So, man, we got a lot of stuff. So, everyone, you have to come back. We're gonna have to when this one gets posted. We got to retweet the sucker, because we got the Shark Week contest and the Shark Week possibility for another Snark Shark Week. So that'll be. We'll have to have a discussion about some stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe we'll work it out this weekend. Maybe.
Yeah. So let's hit up the boys. Let's hit Scott McDonald and let's hit at T Scott and say breaking snooze. And that, you want to know something? It's a good thing that we decided to talk about the Sharknado phenomenon, because guess what? I am happy now. I am very happy. I missed it last year.
Yeah, you're not on a cruise. That's excellent. And my daughter's going to be gone all week, so I can watch them then.
7:25 to 7.
Maybe they'll re-show Shark Killer later in the day. That might be a problem. Hopefully they'll move that, because that sounds like a cool one. But worst case scenario, either DVR that and we can watch it maybe some Saturday or whatever, or
we could watch it on freaking Friday when wrestling's on. If there's nothing on, we could just tell everybody DVR that crap, and we'll just all put it on at 9 o'clock and hit play at 9 o'clock, and that's it. Got to see what's happening on Saturday. I wonder if there's no movie on Saturday, we can do something on Saturday too, but that would be friggin' awesome.
Planet of the Sharks.
Planet of the Sharks. That is unbelievable. So, what we should do is we should actually schedule the next snooze. But it looks like we might be doing a lot of stuff in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll probably have to do a special edition of the snooze during that week. Again, I like the idea of what we did last year, where we separate our different shows, because most of them are still around. I mean, now we've got the one that Mike and Kelly are doing. You're gonna kill me.
Squat Cobbler.
Squat Cobbler, yes, because I love the title of that one. And looks like Nurture Support's back in. There's no Sharktopus. Maybe Mel still want to do one. So. So we'll schedule one. We'll take a look, and we'll have it. We'll figure out what movies are what during the week, and then we'll work out. Maybe we can put our stamp on Thursday then, whatever that Thursday is, the 28th or something like that. See whatever tomorrow. Tomorrow we should be able to see what it is. But let's see. The next Thursday would be August 4th or 11th. So it's one of those two. So. If we did August 4th, it could be almost like an immediate Sharknado, but we'd be doing Sharknado discussion, because that's the third. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong time. 31st is that Sunday.
Right. Yeah. No.
Thursday,
the fourth. Depending on what happens, because if we do one
on the 28th, maybe we can maybe drop it to the 11th then, maybe. It's up. Well,
yeah.
One
Well,
of those 2 days.
we'll figure
Yeah.
that out. I think we have to wait a couple of days till we get the full schedule and see what's going on. But yeah, stay tuned to your email. So that's it. And yeah, Myrna, great job at being prompt at watching the snooze right at the end. Awesome.
And you know what? To be honest, I think Myrna would do really good to get involved in Pokemon Go. So Myrna, please go do some Pokemon Go. I think you'll love it. Which we discussed earlier in the show, but you missed it. On that note, Tony.
Yeah. So anyway, it looks like it might be August 4th. We might be back sooner than that. I sent a tweet out to Mike and Kelly, and we'll see what's going on. But yeah, that looks like it could be extremely awesome to have a Sharknado weekend and do something after every, even if it's just for a half hour or so or whatever, to talk about the tweets and talk about the movie and pull it apart leading up to that Sharknado. And then maybe we could do a mega show on Sunday night, get as many people in a hangout as we possibly can, to talk about it. And so, wow, we covered everything. Wow, we actually almost did like a really good news show tonight.
I think we did, yeah. Especially this Sharknado breaking snooze, really.
Yeah, you watched investigative reporting in action.
And we announced a contest. You could win a T-shirt. I love that. I love this. I'm going to still do one, but I'm not going to win the T-shirt. I guess I have to disqualify myself, but I'm still going to do one. I'll disqualify myself from the contest, but I still want you to see my my rendition of whatever.
I wonder if there's a way that I can do one and you could do one, and then like you could send me yours, and then I could like
mash
them together, because after the show, I have an idea, and it's a seed. I have a seed for you. I'll give you a seed, and then maybe we can build on that.
Okay.
So, having said that, Dylan, awesome show tonight. Thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you next time or sooner. Say goodnight.
Breaking snooze. Good night, Dylan. Breaking snooze.
Breaking snooze. You see, Dylan knows how to do it. Say goodnight, Dylan. He said goodnight, Dylan.
I said goodnight, Dylan. Yeah.
That's the way it is. Bye.